Hi, and welcome back to David Pattinson's Accused Friends. Today I want to talk about the recent case involving Caroline Flack, and she was arrested on December 12th in Islington in North London and had a hearing charged with common assault, assaulting her tennis player boyfriend, whose name is Lewis Burton, at their home on December 12th. And they had the preliminary hearing at the magistrate's court and she pleaded not guilty. The case is going to be heard, or the trial is going to be heard on March 4th, 2020. And I want to talk about this case from the point of view of, well, what if it was the boyfriend assaulting Caroline Flack as opposed to the other way round? Now, first of all, Caroline Flack certainly deserves to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, and I would say that for everyone. She is, as most people know, a famous British they call her a reality TV star. She's really the host of Love Island, although she did appear on it. As I understand, she's 40 years old. She carries herself like she's 20 years old. She's well thought of by the British people. She has money, looks, status, and I suppose the big question over Caroline Flack is that she has a sort of a complicated love life. She has everything going for her, but she can't hold on to a boyfriend for whatever reason. And it's always been an enduring mystery. I think that it gives her relatability with her fans. That's kind of the key to her fame and her success. And you got to credit her. I mean, she's a successful person, she's made a lot of money, and she's, she seems to have a pretty happy life. So, the question of not being able to hold on to a boyfriend, it makes you wonder, as a result of this case, is it because she's a domestic abuser? And that's kind of something I've been thinking about. And when you look at all the news coverage of this case, it's been very favourable to Caroline Flack. There was the great headline in The Sun, which says, "Cut her some flack." And I just wonder if it was the boyfriend, Lewis, assaulting her, whether anyone would be cutting him some flack, or whether we'd be have a totally different media reaction, whether other women would be coming out of the woodwork saying, yeah, he assaulted me, whether people would say, yeah, he seemed like a really suspicious guy when I met him. And so you just wonder if we're in an equal justice system here, whether the media should be treating Caroline Flack the same way. Are there journalists looking into her previous boyfriends to say, hey, did she beat you up? And of course, the accusation against Caroline Flack is that Lewis, the boyfriend, was asleep. She read some messages on his phone that she assumed were from another woman. And so she picked up a lamp and smashed him over the head while he was asleep. And there was blood, and there was sort of an altercation, and he called the police. I think it was very early in the morning, sort of 5 a.m. And they came, and there was a lot of blood around, and so they arrested Caroline Flack there and then. Her bosses at Love Island, moved her off the show. They said she resigned, but she was, almost certainly forced off the show because they don't want to be associated with this problem. And of course, again, in the press, the Love Island people are saying, yeah, she's welcome back to the show anytime, just get this court case out of the way. But, if she's convicted, if she goes to prison, will they be so willing to have her back on the show? I don't know. So from the point of view of an equal justice system, will she be treated in court the same way as if this crime was committed by a man against her or against another woman? And, I don't know. I mean, the Crown prosecution are pursuing it. There was a lot of sort of protesters at the hearing, the plea hearing, sort of trying to encourage or dissuade the CPS from pursuing this case. There was a female barrister acting on behalf of CPS that was harangued in the hallway by some feminist protesters. And, the media didn't really pick this up and stand up for equal justice. The press are always very big on rights of the press, right to ask questions, ask the tough questions, right to print what they want to print. But, what about the rights of British citizens? What about the right to a fair trial? What about the right to, equal justice? So I don't think the press has been very hot on, pointing out the discrepancies between, well, what if the gender roles were reversed? Would we, is our coverage going to be the same for Lewis if he was the perpetrator, or if Caroline was the perpetrator? And I've been around the block enough times to know that the press covers up for women, and they go all in on men. For men, it's guilty until proven innocent. If it's women, it's cut us some flack. And I wanted to kind of point out this discrepancy to you. That's the point of making the video, and we'll see what happens. I mean, there's only really four things that could have happened in this case. Either Caroline Flack's assaulted the boyfriend. Either she's, there's been some sort of altercation, but it doesn't rise to the level of assault, so she'd be acquitted under that circumstance. It could be that Lewis has made a genuine false accusation, and if that's the case, will he be prosecuted? Is the media looking into whether that's the case? There's been some news stories that Caroline Flack has said, she's banned from talking to this guy right now, but after the trial, she wants to kind of get married and settle down, and you just wonder whether, before we start worrying about marriage, she should just try and see if, make sure her behavior's as it should be, as someone would want in a long-term marriage partner. The fourth thing that could have happened in this case is that, again, there was some sort of altercation. Lewis has called the police sort of inadvertently or accidentally, or sort of under the throes of sleep and fatigue, without really meaning to call them, or maybe he was trying to call someone else. So it's a false accusation, but it's not a malicious false accusation. It is just sort of an accidental circumstance, or not. So we don't really know. That's why I always say you got to wait till the trial, and afterwards, once we got all the information from the trial, I'll be able to comment on it with full information. So hope you find this interesting. The point is really just to highlight the differences in how news covers male on female abuse or violence versus female on male abuse and violence. So please subscribe to the channel, and thanks a lot for watching David Pattinson's Accused Friends.